Hey guys, day 3 HIIT workout series. Today we have a staggered stance jump on your left leg, staggered stance jump on your right leg, your frog sit-ups. We're going kneeling thigh drives, right leg, kneeling thigh drives, left leg, L-sit leg raises, left leg, L-sit leg raises, right leg, and then your vertical toe touches. So we've done a lot this week. So day 3 is gonna focus more on your core and still get that heart rate up and still get that burn. But I know you guys have been burning all week. So day 3 is, not too bad, not too bad. I still want you to do 1 warm-up set and then 4 working sets, just because there's a lot of mechanics. I really want you to iron out these mechanics so that way whenever we all meet up for training camp, it will be spot on, and I won't have to fix everybody too much, right? All right, so staggered stance jumps, left leg going forward. Okay, so how I like to explain getting into your staggered stance jump is, so starting in that neutral position, we're gonna shift all of our weight to our left leg, okay? And then we're gonna slide our right leg, our right heel to our left heel, okay? Then you're gonna pivot on that heel to make a letter L. So the left leg has not moved at all. The right leg, the heel is touching the left heel and the toe is facing to the right wall, okay? So your feet are in a letter L. Taking that left leg, we're gonna make sure that we soften the knee so that way we do not move that left leg at all. All of our weight is on that left leg. You're gonna pivot on the ball of your foot on your right leg, okay? So now, left leg stays the same. My right ball of my foot is parallel to my left heel, and my right heel is not on the ground at all, okay? So ball of our foot. All of our weight is gonna be on that left leg. No weight is gonna be on that right leg. You could pick it up if you wanted to, but I don't want you to, because I want you to stay in this staggered stance, okay? If you ever get lost in the sauce and whenever we start to jump, you can always check your stance by just tapping your right ball of your foot to your left heel to make sure that it's in alignment. That way we're not spreading our center of gravity way too thin, and we're not losing control of our center of gravity, okay? So all my weight is on my left leg, right? Everything's loaded on that left hip. My back leg is pretty much a kickstand. I'm not a yard apart. I'm literally just, that foot is parallel to my heel, and then I still keep my hip width apart. That way that my left leg, my left foot is underneath my left hip, and then my right foot is the same amount of distance from my left foot as my hips are, okay? We don't wanna be too wide, okay? Again, trying to control that center of gravity, and that right heel is not down because we wanna make sure that it maintains that kickstand and doesn't take any of the weight off of that left leg. Cool? All right, so we're in that staggered stance position. You're gonna lower your center of gravity, driving those knees towards your pinky toe. All right, so lowering our center of gravity, not allowing our right heel to touch the ground at all, okay? Keep that chest up, back strong. I should be able to read what's on your shirt as we hinge into that position, right? So still all that weight on the ball on your left leg, still on the ball of your foot on your right leg. And all we're gonna do is our hands are by our side, and we're gonna throw our hands up in hip extension fast into a jump. When we jump, we're gonna turn our quads on at the top of our jump, and we're landing in our staggered stance. So it's a drop those hands like you're waving away a fart, and then we throwing those hands up and getting as high as we can, like we're bringing that fart to Jesus, turning those quads on at the top, and then landing in our staggered stance. If you feel like you lost your staggered stance in the air, just click that ball of your foot to your heel to double check your stance, making sure you're not too spread apart, and then we go straight into it. So we're going 45 seconds on, 15 seconds rest, where we're just jumping with that left leg in front, okay? So loading through your hips, okay? Load those hips, hip extend, turn your quads on at the top of your jump, okay? And after your 45 seconds, you switch legs, same thing. Loading all your weight on that right hip, right leg, okay? Making an L with our heels. So bring that left heel to our right heel and pointing your left toe to the wall on your left side, okay? Pivoting on that left ball of your foot. So again, now the left ball of my foot is parallel to my right heel. You can click it and check, okay? Because we don't want the back leg like way too far, okay? We're trying to be the spring that produces the most amount of power. All right, soften those knees, lower your center of gravity, drive your knees towards your pinky toe. Okay, knees toward your pinky toe, you're now in a staggered stance. Drop those hands behind your hips. We're gonna load and then jump, turning those quads at the top, okay? So it's all about that hip extension through your hips, okay? Turning your quads and your glutes on the top of your jump, getting as high as you can, spending the most amount of time possible off the ground, okay? And we're going for 45 seconds on that right leg as well. In order to catch your breath, we're dropping it down to the ground for our frog sit-ups. All we do is we drop down to the ground in our seated position, okay? I always like to get into my Indian style crisscross applesauce, okay? Place your hands behind you and put your feet together, okay? Heels together, toes together, feet together. So now you're making like a diamond with your lower body, your legs, okay? Now we're gonna go ahead and lay on the ground. Place your back on the ground, maintaining your diamond, keeping your feet together, heels together, toes together, okay? You should feel this great stretch in your hips. And all we're doing is for 45 seconds, we're sitting up, trying to reach in between our legs, maintaining that diamond position or that frog position, okay? Frog legs, right? So all the way down, tap your shoulder blades to the ground, keep your hands up in the air, and then reach towards the sky. So your hands are gonna end up parallel to your feet, I guess. If you wanna make it heavier or harder, just grab a sandbag, a med ball, a sand ball, kettlebell, dumbbell, whatever. You grab a bottle of water, okay? Just lay on the ground, hold it overhead, parallel to your chest, and as you sit up, maintaining your heels together, you're gonna hold that dumbbell, kettlebell weight of preference overhead, okay? You could also hold it to your chest, or you can just put a weight vest on and that will make it harder as well. 45 seconds on, 15 seconds rest, okay? Next, you're gonna grab a pillow, a couch cushion. I have these little foam blocks here that I really, really like. I've used a med ball. I've used pretty much anything that I can find that is about, let's see, 4 to 8 inches really, because it just depends on your level of athleticism and stability in your lower body that determines how many, in my case, pads I need. I have some clients that use 3 pads stacked, so that's about 8 inches. Some clients need more, some clients need less. So I'm gonna do 2 pads, that's about 4 inches. Or you could do nothing, okay? You can absolutely just take a knee and then stand up into a thigh drive. So it's completely up to you. I did this workout earlier. I actually did y'all's strength portion earlier, so my legs are kind of destroyed. But, so you could either just drop it down to the ground in that kneeling position, go ahead and bring your left leg forward, okay? So we're still maintaining that 45-degree shin angle where our knee is driving towards our pinky toe and you want to make sure that your heel isn't on the ground. I should be able to put a whole entire finger underneath your heel as you get loaded for this exercise. We're going to tuck our back toe. Okay, so tuck your back toe, chest up back strong. Okay, and all we're going to do is we push through the left ball of my foot to try and get my knee and my hip extended as I bring my right leg up into a thigh drive, knee higher than that hip, 45-degree shin angle, dorsiflexion. Then I lower my center of gravity, take that knee back down to the ground. Okay, try not to unlock your toe in the back foot. Okay, so my left leg is going to be my worker leg, and my right leg is going to be my thigh drive in motion. Okay, so again, if you could not just take a knee from the ground, your modification would be put something under your knee, and the higher it is from the ground, the more of a modification it is. So if you feel like you need 1 pad or 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, 8 inches, it's completely up to you. Play around with the distance, because everyone has a different size feet, first of all. And if you're not strong enough to get your shin parallel to the ground by yourself, then getting a pad or like a couch cushion underneath your knee, so that way your toe is pointing down to the ground and your shin is 100% parallel to the ground, so you're kind of like a little bit elevated before you go into that thigh drive, will help your hips until you get strong enough to go from the ground up. Okay, so again, that left leg is forward, your 45-degree shin angle, toe up, knee off the ground, or knee on a pad. Okay, and we're just driving force into the ground via your left leg, so that right leg can come up into your thigh drive parallel to your hip and that standing position. Okay, so it's just push, take that knee down, push, take that knee down, push, take that knee down. Every time you lower your center of gravity, you want to make sure that knee is pointing to your pinky toe and not internally rotating to your big toe. Okay, so same concept. We're going to rest for 15 seconds and then bring that right leg forward. Okay, again, my heel should not be touching the ground, because we want all of our force being produced through the ball of our foot, maintaining that 45-degree shin angle, maintaining that knee over your pinky toe. So now that our right leg is loaded, our left leg is behind. It's totally up to you whether you put a pad under your knee or not, or if you are strong enough to come from the ground, just be explosive coming off the ground, off of that pad. Okay, off the ground, off that pad, you want to be as explosive as possible, because this is a high intensity interval training session, so you do want to get your heart rate up as fast as possible. Okay, so keep moving, keep moving. You absolutely can make it harder by holding dumbbells, kettlebells, a weight vest, etc. That's always going to be your progression, is to load these movements as your endurance gets better. Okay, we got one warm-up set and 4 working sets. Once you get the movements, again, and we're just trying to get that hip extension, knee extension as we stand up and recover the left leg with a thigh drive. Okay, so it's almost like a reverse lunge all the way to the ground, and then hitting our thigh drive. Okay, exhale at the top, take that touch on the pad every single time, and then rest for 15 seconds as we move on to our L-sit leg raises. I was being too nice whenever I gave you these, but it's okay. So, L-sit leg raises. We're back down on the ground in our seated position. We're gonna go put our toes in front of us, legs extended, chest up, back strong. Okay, so let's try not to make our spine round over our hips. Okay, we want to make sure that we engage our lats, chest up, back strong, squeeze the penny in between your shoulder blades. Keep your core nice and tight. Toes up towards the ceiling. That way your quads are nice and tight. Okay, and all we're doing is we're taking that right leg and lifting that right leg. So that way you feel it in your adductors. Your adductors are turning on to protect your knees. Okay, I like to throw some arm action in there, just because I'm a creature of habit and I like to always work on my opposition. So as my left leg comes up, my right arm comes up, and as my right leg comes up, my left arm comes up, okay? So taking that right leg, we're just pulsing it up, down, okay? How you make this movement harder? We add ankle weights, sandbags, whatever we can find, just slap it on that leg, slap it on that ankle, and then just try to raise it. Keep your quad nice and tight so that hip flexor works in strengthening and stabilizing the entire leg, okay? We rest for 15 seconds, and then we switch to the left leg, dorsiflexion, toes up, knees off the ground. We're driving our right heel into the ground as we lift our left leg and our right hand, okay? Keeping that quad nice and tight. No bend in the knee, that is extremely important because we don't want to compromise the strength of our VMOs all around our kneecap and keeping our knee safe, okay? So just coming up, trying to make sure that both toes stay pointing towards the ceiling the whole entire time, okay? And as soon as we're done with our L-sit leg raises, we are dropping it down to the ground, okay? So placing our back on the ground. Oh, y'all are gonna enjoy this after the whole week that you guys had. Okay, so placing your back on the ground, heels are to your butt, and we're just gonna raise our heels to the ceiling. So try to place your heels on that ceiling. 1, 2, okay? Point your toes to your face. We always want dorsiflexion on your toes because that strengthens and stretches your soleus and your gastrocnemius. So make sure that your calves are getting the stretch they need, so that way we're quick off the foot on the field. All right, so from here, we're gonna make sure that our head and shoulders come off the ground and we're just trying to touch our toes. You really don't have to touch your toes. It's mostly about your little half crunch on the top portion of your abs, okay? So we're really just trying to exhale at the top, bring your rib cage up, and strengthen the top part of your abs, your sternum, okay? Ooh, you can go hands behind your head, you can go hands over your chest, you can go hands up, you can try to touch your toes, you can grab anything, med ball, sandbag, whatever you choose, and try to touch your toes. I think I made my clients do a sand ball earlier in this week, and then I made a softball team do mini bands on their wrists, so that way they can try and keep tension on their shoulders while they reach towards their toes. So get creative. I mean, this is your workout. This is your journey. This is, make it a lifestyle. So play around with it. Play around with your body. You absolutely want to discover how to make things harder when you need harder and how to make things lighter when you need lighter. Okay? Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please text me, ask me. Communication is key. This is your journey, so make sure that you make the most of having access to being able to ask questions and modify or make these workouts harder. Have a great day, guys.